I'm living my dream right now. If you're not married, then you're open for anyone. The president of Egypt was going, Jack Scab, why aren't you on the bus? You've got to be kidding me. And I threw up, fell asleep, eating a taco. Hi, my name is Natalia and welcome to Body Abroad. On this Travel Tuesday, we are going to be talking about my crazy free trip to Egypt. And oh boy, you're in for a ride. I'm just gonna jump right into it. Let me set the time for you. It was my fall semester senior year, so this was 2018. The previous semester, I had been interning for this NGO, got to network with a little bit of the United Nations world. If you didn't know, I was an international studies major and I want to work in something related to the United Nations. I don't know if you cared about that, but I'm just throwing it out there in case anyone's looking to hire. So I made a really good friend from Egypt. In August or September, I think, he told me, yo, apply for this form because they pay for your trip, they pay for your accommodations, for your food, everything. And it was honestly a really good experience. Like, it's one of the best forums I've ever attended. Him saying that, I was like, okay, cool. I applied probably in September, and September passed, October passed, and it was, I believe, 2 weeks before the forum, and I was like, if I haven't heard back from them, I'm probably not, it's not gonna happen. A week and a half before the forum, they emailed me, congratulations, you've been accepted as an attendee for the whatever. I'm not gonna say the name of it in case I wanna apply again for another free trip. I was like, oh my god, I'm going to Egypt. So I talked to all my professors. I was like, okay, I'm ready to go. I'll just turn in some assignments, like I'll do them on the plane. If I don't have Wi-Fi, I'll find a way to contact them. I chose my flight for October 31st. That way I'm there November 1st. It was a 12-hour flight, I believe, and then a connecting flight from Cairo to, I'm gonna butcher his name, Sharm el-Sheikh. Flight was all cool. Like, this forum obviously partnered with, I left with Egypt Air because the campaign, oh my god, like, it was everywhere. I was on my way, I was so excited. I was like, oh my god, I'm going to Egypt. It was like amazing. And when I was on the plane, I met a couple of people that were also going to the forum, and I was like, cool, okay, fabulous. And a lot of people met up at the airport, and it was like fabulous as well. We met at the Cairo airport. We went through immigration. We did all that shabam. We didn't need a visa because apparently the forum paid for it, or we had an expedited thing. I'm not really sure, but everything was looking fabulous. I was like, this is my dream. I'm living my dream right now. We got to Sharm el-Sheikh. The airport was full of like Bawara forum and this and that, and I was like, oh my god, like, I'm so excited. I did meet some cool people at the airport. I was like, I'm going to rock this. This is gonna be great. Ha! We had transportation from the airport to our hotel. I was staying supposedly at a 5-star hotel, and I was like, we bougie like that, yes. Honestly, living my best life. Until November 1st, we really didn't do anything because the forum, I think, it started the 2nd. I was just walking around, seeing who I could meet because I was completely alone. The people that were at my airport didn't go to the hotel. I met a couple of people. We all met. I gave my number to this guy because we were all exchanging numbers, and he was a bit particular, and I was like, okay, whatever, like. And he started texting me like a lot. He was texting like things that could be interpreted in another way, and I was like, hey, like, can you stop texting me? I have a boyfriend. And this man goes like,
you're not married, then you're open for anyone.
And I was like, there, I stopped answering text messages, and he texts me back,
you're racist and you're not a good world leader.
And I answer, I'm like, excuse me for not wanting to answer your text after you said that if I'm not married, I'm open to everyone, and that makes me racist. And we're like, okay, I wonder what tomorrow's gonna be like, because tomorrow's the opening ceremony. The next day comes and they tell us, oh,
this hotel isn't going to opening ceremony because there's not enough capacity at the venue for the amount of people that we have at this forum.
And we were like, okay. Like, I think you should invite all your participants into the opening ceremony. A lot of people were kind of upset about that because they took like days off work in order to be throughout the whole like forum. I get it. Like, you took days off work, your vacation days, and you're kind of not doing anything that you were expecting to do. I just thought, like, let me be positive about it. I met some people out at the beach because we were literally by the Red Sea, so I swam in the Red Sea. I was like, okay, whatever, tomorrow's gonna be a better day. So the next day, they told us to be ready in the lobby at 4 to go to a Hearts of Humanity and dinner. So we were supposed to get dinner afterwards, where the president of Egypt was going to be talking. Now, this isn't political or anything, like, you have your opinions about the politics on Egypt, but he was going to be there, and I was like, wow, like, I'm gonna see an official talk. Like, that's kind of intimidating. The buses were always late. Remember this. The buses were always late. Everyone was down there at 4. We left like at 4:30, something like that. We went over to the venue, scanned us and everything, because, you know, an official was gonna be there. We had little snacks and whatnot, and we just waited for it to start. We waited and we waited and we waited, and 5 hours had gone by, and we were like, when is this gonna start? Like, I'm hungry. I haven't eaten a proper meal since noon, and those little snacks didn't really fill me up. I was upset because I could see how disorganized everything kind of was, and from hearing such good things to being like, this isn't what I expected. I thought it would be more professional and things like that. I was kind of upset. I think it took 6 hours for the president of Egypt to come to give a less than 10-minute speech. We were like, is this it, really? And I couldn't understand half of it because my translator didn't work unless I stood up, and people were yelling at me not to stand up, and I was like, well, I'm really not understanding anything, so whatever. I was,
Oh my god, it's time to eat. Yes.
like, we can go eat. We won't go on a line. We're like, okay, let's go eat. And then security, because they were like officials there, like ministers and like higher ups there, and they were like, no, like, attendees cannot come to this dinner. They only were allowed to come to the ceremony. And I guess the volunteers or the coordinators didn't know that as well, because they were like we have to feed these people, and this was arranged for them. And I was so mad, because when I get hungry, I get mad. It might be stereotypical, but I really do. I was like so frustrated because we had waited 6 hours, and now I'm hungry. It's almost 11 o'clock. I waited, and I'm like, no, like, talking in Spanish, but I didn't want others to really understand. I was like, no, like, you've got to be kidding me. And me and my friend were like looking at each other, what is this? Like, I'm dying. And people were leaving, and then I don't know what happened. I don't know if I pushed and like walked in, or if they let 5 people in, and like me and my friend went, and I was like looking for a seat. There are no seats. It was like a big ass table, like at like the Last Supper type deal, like that. And I see 2 seats. We were like, excuse me, sorry, are these seats taken? And this nice lady was like, go ahead, don't worry. And we were like talking, we're like, can't believe that this happened. And she was like, oh, what happened? And we were like, we're part of this forum, and they promised us dinner, and they were denying us dinner. And she was like, oh, that is so like irresponsible. And we were like kind of like venting to her that this forum wasn't really as organized as we had hoped. And she was like, I've been hearing that, like, just, you're here now. Like, she is, I remember a professor from the American University of Cairo. She made my night, and we were sitting right in front of like a Serbian minister who was like, if you need my driver to take you anywhere, he can take you there. So the food was bomb. The desserts were like, so at the end of the day, it was good, but just like, you could tell how disorganized this was. The next day, like, we went to a few panels. They were interesting. Just, it's a youth forum, so not a lot of youth was actually talking at these panels, which can be fine because we want to know the knowledge of higher ups, but we also want the youth perspective in a lot of things. It was okay. The next day was my favorite day because I ran into 2 people that I really like. Do you guys remember Jack's Gap? I ran into Jack Harris because he was doing one of the panels, and I was freaking out. I was like,
oh my god, I love him.
Since like, I don't even know, 2012, something like that. He gave a presentation on climate change, and like, it was just perfect. Like, oh my god. And his girlfriend was super nice. He took pictures with us afterwards. like 10 out of 10 like person. And that day I also ran into Jerome from Vine. He was there too as a guest. I don't know what panel he was speaking on, but so the third day wasn't that bad. The forum ended, it was from November 2nd to November 5th. So it was a weekend. At the end of that, we were like I feel like I didn't do anything. And that was a lot of the problems that people had because they didn't, like, I didn't go to an opening or closing ceremony. I only attended a few panels, and I, like, really, the only thing that it was valuable for is networking. November 6th comes and there's nothing to do this day. I did this on purpose to kind of spend more time in Egypt. Like, they didn't limit your time. There was a tour set up to go to Dahab. Dahab is supposedly one of the most beautiful places to go snorkeling, and I was like, I'm in. Like, it was a mess. The dude picked us up 2 hours late. Half of the people were like, I'm not going. I went because I was like, when am I ever gonna be here? Went on this tour that supposedly included snorkeling, 4-track running, included a walking tour, and included a camel walk. This dude was like, oh, we started late, so everything has to be cut a little bit short. And we were like, whatever, yes. We went snorkeling. And I really enjoyed snorkeling, but it was really stressful because there were so many people and people were like stepping on the reef. I accidentally did it too, so I was like very stressed, and also I was left behind the group because they were going super fast. I was like, I want to appreciate this. We got lunch, and then we were supposed to go on a camel ride, and then the hike, and then the 4-track, and I think we had a market after. So we went on a 5-minute camel ride. The hike wasn't bad. He was like,
we don't have time for the 4-track things.
And we were like, but that's included in what we paid for. And one of the guys who was from Syria, who I've been talking to the whole time, he said, I'm really looking forward to the marketplace. And he was like, no, we're not going to the marketplace. And they ended up fighting like very
like aggressively,
because he was like, I paid for this and you're taking me there, I'm going alone. Honestly, it was a very stressful situation, and I don't know, like, this whole trip just seemed very unprofessional. I got some amazing pictures, but trust me, like, everything was so stressful about it. That night, after all this happened, I was like, okay, I'm ready to go to bed and leave for Cairo the next day because I had managed to change I had to change my flight to an earlier day to go see my friend that didn't get invited to the forum and see Cairo, because when else am I gonna go to Cairo? We never know what's gonna happen nowadays. My flight left at 5 a.m. I wasn't the only one leaving to Cairo like at 5 a.m. And they were like, you need to be on the bus at 3. Now, if you've heard me throughout the story, you know that Egyptians are late. And I'm not saying this like Puerto Ricans are late, but Egyptians are really late to everything. And even my Egyptian friend like agrees with me. I'm not saying this to be disrespectful. It's just, you know, cultural tendencies that people have. So I was like, okay, I can maybe sleep like 20 minutes more and I'll be on the bus. I got a call at 3:05. Someone who I didn't even know yelling,
why aren't you on the bus? Why are you on the lobby? You're supposed to be here.
And I was like, oh my God. Like, I had to throw everything and go, and like they were like,
we're gonna leave you, like you were supposed to be here.
And that's not something that you want to wake up to. Hung up after he was done yelling, be here. And I called the lobby and I'm like, is anyone from the like forum there? And they're like, no, and they just hung up on me. So at this point, I'm crying. I'm like, this is very stressful. Like, I slept a couple hours and I just can't handle this. So I went up, I packed everything, and I saw my friends like on the way out, and they were like, calm down. Like I couldn't even say a proper goodbye to my friends. I was just crying all over the place. I called one of my friends that I met, and he was like, don't worry, I'll get you a cab. Like, I'm like, get me a cab and fuck this bus. I got a cab. The guy, I was like, are you the guy who called me? And he was like, yes, you were supposed to be here and whatever. And I was like, you are very disrespectful. This forum was very unprofessional. Like, I went off, had nothing organized. Like, nobody had a wonderful experience here. And this call was just beyond like disrespectful. Like I just went off. I don't even remember what I told him, and he in my face said,
I don't care, I don't care, I don't care.
This is where I realized like I had been cooperating with all their oops and mishaps and everything like that, and for you to not even listen to my criticisms, even if I was like in a very frustrated manner. I don't know, it might be my cultural perception finding it disrespectful, and this is just how it is because that happens, part of culture shock, but it was something that really ruined my experience of Egypt. And I don't want to generalize, but it's just what I experienced and how I felt. It was so disrespectful and they didn't even care. I get to Cairo. Cairo was amazing. I saw the pyramids, I went to mosques, I sailed the Nile. It was amazing until my friend took me to a butchery restaurant. I'm a vegetarian, but all the group wanted to go and I didn't want to be an inconvenience, so I was like, okay. And they were like, there's this soup that you can try, like it's great soup, like it's very traditional. And I gave it a shot because I like trying new things. Like that's something that I've learned as an adult, trying new things. I tried the soup and something didn't sit right, and everyone had finished it and I'm like I don't feel good. And my friends that I was hanging out, like they're all like doctors, and they're like, okay, we'll give you a Tums or something. I left early the next day. Like I was exhausted because I had slept like maybe 5 hours the night before. I flew to Cairo. I saw like everything that you could see in a day, and I just wanted to go to bed. So I went to bed and I woke up the next day feeling horrible. And I was like, it's probably because I haven't had breakfast, I haven't had anything to eat, it's okay. Oh my God. I wanted to throw up the whole time. I don't know how I managed to not throw up during like security, during the other like security that I had to go through, waiting for the flight to get on, because I barely made it to everything. So I didn't really go to the bathroom. And I was like, okay, I'm finally on the flight. Like I had an essay to do and everything. I was like, oh my God. Next thing I know, I'm throwing up. I didn't throw up on the seat, thank God. Like I ate breakfast and 5 minutes later it came up. And I threw up, I think like a good 5 times. Like you could vividly like hear like me like going like, what? I had to ask the flight attendant, could I get Sprite or something like that? And that's when they really like, they saw my face, like I was green. I saw my own face turning green, gray. I don't know how the stars aligned for me to have an empty seat next to me. And I spent the whole 12 hours of the flight going to the bathroom, throwing up, coming back, sleeping it off, going to the bathroom, throwing up, sleeping it off. By the end of the flight, I did feel a little better. Conclusion, what I'm thinking is food poisoning. Like my stomach wasn't used to like, because it was very thick and heavy. I got home to my college at like 8 p.m. and I fell asleep. The next day, I had to wake up at 6 a.m. to go to a Model UN conference. Like I was in conference mode from, let's say, we got there at noon, conference started at 3 until 10 p.m. And my friends were like, we're going out. And I was like, went to my room. We were all talking and I was so exhausted that I fell asleep eating a taco. It was a crazy mess that I'm thankful for, because if not, I wouldn't have had the opportunity to visit a country like Egypt. Even though it wasn't the experience I wanted, I still have some good memories about it. And I feel like I left out a bunch of other like horrible things because I might have suppressed them. If you have the opportunity to visit Sharm el-Sheikh, however you say, I'm sorry, visit it. I think it's a very tourist friendly like area. I had a lot of fun. If I had the chance to go back, I would, in different circumstances. I'm gonna be honest, not on the top of my list. If it's free, of course I'll go. Like, hello, like who would turn down a free trip? I would like to explore Egypt again in another circumstance, and that's how my crazy trip to Egypt went down. That's a fun story time to get heated over. If you enjoyed the story time, don't forget to subscribe and follow Body Bra on all your favorite social media platforms. There are videos every Tuesday for travel and Saturdays because there's something else to do. Don't forget to like and comment down below if you've ever had a crazy story happen to you in whatever country. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys Saturday for a random video. Bye!